Okay, so we're going to be graphing piecewise functions, which just means that you're graphing two functions on the same graph, one piece of one function, one piece of another function. And so we're going to be using Desmos because Desmos is going to help us to graph the pieces of the functions that we can't graph from our own brains. So the first function we have here is a cubic function, and then the second function we have here is y equals -6. Y equals -6, and that one is the easier one to graph, so I'm going to go ahead and graph that one first. And I need all the earbuds out, all the cell phones away. All right, so y equals -6 just means that every single y coordinate in the graph for that particular equation is going to be a y coordinate of -6. So if you were to graph that equation, you would have like the point 0, -6, you'd have the point 2, -6, you'd have the point 5, -6, you'd have the point -4, -6. That's what this means. Y equals -6. If you were to graph it, every single point would have a y coordinate of -6. So it ends up making this horizontal line. And for this assignment, for the notes and for the assignment today, I forgot to say it earlier, but we're definitely going to need pencil. Does everybody have a pencil that they're writing with? You have a pencil? Yep. Okay. All right, so I'm writing that one down, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to graph the other one using Desmos. So this is why we need our Chromebooks. So -x-3 cubed plus 2, I'll do on Desmos. Cubed plus 2. So there's the other graph, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the table. Can somebody tell me what the locator point is on that graph? What's the locator point? 3, 2. So 3, 2, I'm gonna go ahead and graph on the grid, but I'm also going to look for it on the table. 3, 2. Okay, so it's right in here. 3, 2 is right there. And then I'm going to get some other points. So 3, 2, I've got also 2, 3, and I've got 4, 1, and 5, -6. And then 1, 10. Oh, I can't graph 1, 10. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect those points. And I'll show you what I've got that I've drawn. So my graph looks something like this. Okay. So what I do with a piecewise graph is I start with this one right here, the -x-3 cubed plus 2. And I say, okay, this is the graph that I'm talking about. And the graph goes like this. I'm just going to graph all of it. And it says to keep the part of the graph that is to the left, because this arrow points to the left. Everyone see that? It says keep the part of the graph that is to the left of 5. So what I do is I look at this picture, I find where this graph has an x coordinate of 5. It's right down here. I circle this. Here's my x coordinate of 5. This is where this cubic graph has an x coordinate of 5. It has less than or equal to, so it can equal the 5. So I fill this in, it can equal the 5. It says to keep the left side of the graph. So what I do is I make sure that the left side of the graph is nice and clearly visible, that all that part of the graph looks good. I keep the left side of the graph and then I erase everything that I drew on the right side of that point. So I didn't draw very much. I just drew this part over here. Okay. For our second equation here, we have -6, which is this horizontal line right here. The horizontal line says to also look at 5, which is right there. And it says for the horizontal line to keep the right side of the graph. Everyone see the arrow pointing to the right? It says keep the right side. So I'm going to go to the right side. I'm going to draw the right side a little bit darker. This is the side I'm going to keep. And then the left side of the graph is going to go away. I'm going to erase the left part. So that's my graph. And I'm done. Okay, let's try it again. So this one has, the first equation is a straight line that's in slope intercept form. So it has -x plus 3, y equals -x plus 3. Now, if they wrote this so that we could see the slope, they would say y equals -1/1 x plus 3. That way there's a number in front of the x, and the number in front of x is written as a fraction. So if we were to graph this line, we would start with a y-intercept of 3, and we would do a slope of -1/1. Do you guys remember how to draw a slope like that? So we have, if it's a negative slope, does it go up or down? Goes down. So we would go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And once we ran out of space, what would we do? We'd go the other way. We'd go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. We'd go this way. Okay. Right. So this one says, find on the graph where you have an x value of -2. So we're going to look on this equation. We can see here's an x value of -2. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to circle this. This is where the x value of -2 is. Wait until we've done a couple examples, then you can go. So -2 right here. And then based on this, should we fill it in or should we not fill it in? We're going to fill it in because it says equal -2. Okay. And then does the arrow point to the left or the right? Points to the left. And so we're going to keep the left side. And then we're going to erase the right side. Okay. For the next one, we're going to go ahead and graph it using Desmos. So x plus 1 to the third minus 5. Let's pull up Desmos and find the points. So x plus 1 to the third. X plus 1 to the third minus 5. Where's the locator point for this? -1, -5. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that first. -1, -5. Left 1 down 5, -1, -5. Okay. And then I have to graph some more points from the table. I'm going to graph as many as I can. So -1, 5 is right there. I'm just going to put some more points up here. So okay. So it looks like all we can graph is right in here between -2 and +1. It looks like that's all that's going to fit. So -2, -6. -1, -5, 0, -4, and then 1, +3. So yeah, -2, -6, -1, -5, 0, -4, 1, +3. Yeah. So here I have, these are all the points we could graph. So from the locator point from -1, -5 to the right, we kind of do a U shape going up like this. And then on the left, we kind of do a U shape going down like that. And this tells us to find -2 and put a circle around it. So -2 is right here. So I'm going to find -2. I'm going to put a circle around it. And based on this, it says greater than. Do I fill in the circle or not fill in the circle? I'm going to not fill in the circle because it does not say equal to. If it says equal to, that's when I fill in the circle. It does not say equal to, so I do not fill in the circle. Okay, so I don't fill in the circle, and then which direction is the arrow pointing? To the right. So I'm going to keep the right side. I'm going to make this side dark so I can keep it. And then I'm going to erase the left side. And then that's my graph. Okay. So our first equation, we have -2x minus 5. What is the y-intercept? Say it again. There is one. It's right here. -5. And then can you guys tell what the slope is? -2. And if I want to write it like a fraction, I can just put it over 1. So where are we going to go from this y-intercept? Down 2, because it's negative. So we're going to go down 2 over 1. And then I ran out of room already. So what am I going to do in the opposite direction? Yeah, I'm going to go up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Okay. So there's my line. And what x value is it telling me to circle? It's telling me to circle 0. So here's an x value of 0. I'm going to circle that. Should I fill it in or not fill it in? I'm going to not fill it in because it doesn't have an equal sign. So I don't fill it in. And then which way is the arrow pointing? Arrow's pointing to the left. So I'm going to keep the left side. So I'll make this part dark. Keep the left side. Erase the right side. Okay, and then for the other one, we've got a square root graph. I'm going to go ahead and use Desmos to graph that one. Anyone know where the locator point is? What else with the 4? 3, 4. So we're going to go over 3, up 4. This is where the locator point starts the graph. And then I'm going to use Desmos to help me get the rest of the points. Okay, so we've got SQRT, x minus 3 plus 4. Okay, so there's the point 3, 4. That starts the graph. And then I'm going to need some more points. Now, I can't even see the point 3, 4 because that's off the table. So I need to get some more points over here. There's 3, 4. And then there's some more points there. Oh, 12, 7 is too big anyway. Okay, so 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 6. 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 6. Okay. 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 6. 12, 7. I can't even graph. So the graph starts right here and it just goes to the right. Okay. And what point did they tell us to circle? 0. Now we can't circle 0 because the graph doesn't go over there, right? But what part did they tell us to keep? Which way does the arrow go? To the right. They told us to keep everything to the right of 0. What do you guys notice about the curve? All of the curve is to the right of 0. So we're going to keep the whole curve. Every part of the curve is to the right of 0. So we're going to keep the whole thing. Okay, for the next one, we've got y equals 6. Do you guys remember how to graph a point like that? Y equals 6. Y equals 6. How do we graph that? What does it look like? Yeah, we go up to 6 on the y-axis. Y equals 6. It's a straight line. It's all the points. If you look at all these points, as you can see, they all have in common the x's are changing, right? You can see, but the y coordinates are 6 all the way through. So it's a horizontal line and every single y value is 6 no matter what. So that's what y equals 6 means. It means that y is always going to be 6. So let's go ahead and graph that. We've got every single point on the line has a y coordinate of 6. And it's telling us to circle which x value. -4 is what we're going to circle. And when we circle it, should we fill it in or not fill it in? We're going to not fill it in because it does not say equal. So we don't fill it in. And then which way is the arrow pointing? To the left. So we're going to save the left side. And we're gonna erase the right side. Okay. Now we've got an absolute value graph, so let's go ahead and type that one in. Anyone know the locator point for the absolute value graph? Yeah, 0, 2, 0, 2. Okay, there's the locator point. So let's go ahead and type this in. So we've got negative. Do you guys remember how to type the absolute value? It's the vertical lines, shift, and it's right above the enter key. Yeah, shift. Okay, so X and then +2. All right, so there's our absolute value graph. Okay, and we've already kind of got some points in here that we can graph. We could put some more in there. Those give us quite a bit of information, right? But if you want to graph more, we can. So I'll put more on the positive and negative side. And then I'll go in this direction too. So we can see it just goes over one, down one, over one, down one, and then it does that in both directions. So if you're graphing it, you can see you just get over one, down one each way. Okay. And what X value do we have to find to circle? -4. So there's -4. We're going to circle it. Should we fill it in or not fill it in? Fill it in. And then what part do we keep? Everything to the right. The arrow points to the right. So we're going to keep the right side, which is most of the graph. And then we're going to erase the left side, which is just a little bit. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to try number 5 at your tables and see if you guys can do it without my help and see what questions it brings up. See if it's easy or difficult to do number 5. If there's any part of this that you don't understand. Okay, so go ahead and give number 5 a shot. Let's see how we do.